was here on move 1. After white plays e4, black did play pawn to e6, which is the French defense. I'm joking, of course, it's a great opening. I've played it myself, but it does have loyal followers, but also players who aren't such big fans, because it does allow, after the moves we saw in the game, for white to build a big pawn center. Black is somewhat cramped here, and we see white seizing the space advantage in the center. And this is the French defense. This is a very recognizable pawn structure, and if we do catch up with the game, yes, the center's exploded, but black is still left with backward pawns, no control over the dark squares. And Tanya, I'm loving your plan. If white gets time now, king to d2, followed by rook over to b1, weakness on b7, massive problem for black. I just don't see any activity. You just have so many weak holes. This is a nice outpost for later. You don't want to trade knights, but if you can land a knight in there and keep it safe. What does black do in the meantime? Firouzja, I think, not enjoying his position. Is not up his alley, this type of passive endgame.
The reason you say that is because both these players love the initiative, love to be the one on the dynamic side, and it's clear here that white's the one who's got all the combative chances. Without that e5 central break available to black, the light squared bishop also having such limited activity, this one's going to be an uphill task for Alireza to try to secure that half point. Right now, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in driver's seat, and again, a reminder that both these players, this is such a crucial point. Currently, they're at the bottom of the table. They've just got 1 point each, so desperate for a win. And coming into this match, Kaya did catch up with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Alireza Firouzja to find out how they're feeling about their chances today.
Yeah, hey Tanya. First of all, so good to see you guys. Loving your commentary from Oslo. And I just wanted to come in and give you guys a little bit of gossip from Toronto. So yesterday, you mentioned it, Tanya. These two, they lost both their matches, just had a horrible day. They're stuck on 1 point. They are fighting for their life to not be knocked out after the round robin. And who do I see when I go to the local Mexican restaurant? It is these two, the two Frenchmen. They were having dinner together. They were enjoying their tacos, just talking to each other, having a good time. So I went over to them and asked them, like, why are you guys having dinner together tonight before that crucial matchup that you guys have against each other? And they revealed that they were not talking about chess at all. They were talking about tacos, they were talking about everything else, just trying to get into a good mood. And I can also reveal, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, he doesn't like cheese. Imagine that, a Frenchman that does not like cheese. That's just crazy to me.
Haven't heard of that one before. Kaya, that's so cool that these two are facing each other in what could be the game of the round robin stage for both of them and enjoying each other's company. We did speak to Maxime earlier before the tournament started, and we asked him about how it is his own personal rivalry with the French #1 now, Alireza Firouzja, and he only had good things to say. They're good friends, and it's awesome to see that they're feeling good there.
rook and bishop tend to work really well against rook and knight when the board is this open, and yeah, the fact that both of your passed pawns are connected means that this should be quite elementary, but white's bishop was pinned temporarily, so some counterplay. Black's rook going behind with some checks now. I've seen Maxime Vachier-Lagrave win so many of these types of positions, it's hard to imagine him letting it slip. Black's rook and knight simply don't combine, and Firouzja nearly blundered his rook there. He nearly put the black rook on f1 where the white bishop could have taken it, but indecision, and it will cost him. White's king now advancing, white's pawns advancing, he even just removes black's final hope. And okay, 2 pawns clear, 2 pawns up. This one is in its final stages.
And black's only hope is to keep that knight on the board. Don't trade it off. You're trying to get some tricks in. You're trying to get those checks in. And Alireza are now relying purely on tricks to save this one.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's fighting.
Yeah, and he knows that he needs to sacrifice his knight for both of the pawns. If he can do that, we get into a theoretically drawn position of rook and bishop versus rook. However, those 2 pawns are not going to be sacrificed for that knight. There's no way that Maxime will allow that. Instead, he chases the knight, and only after putting black's pieces on uncomfortable squares will he start pushing his pawns.
Yeah, just incredible calculation actually here from Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, because he's actually giving up one of his pawns. If the black knight had gone back to e6, white's king would have advanced, and the tactics were working in white's favour. He's still in control. Look at the clock times. Firouzja just barely making moves within the allotted time there, and white's king is being forced back. It's still far from over.
Yes, but the dream here for white is to start pushing the f-pawn. He needs to first get the bishop out of the way, and now the bishop actually controls black's knight. The knight from f8 moves anywhere, that would mean a winning rook pawn endgame. I like that square on f5 for the bishop, but it also makes it difficult to push the pawns forward now.
Yeah, it's just about when to push. Maybe first he'll give a check, there we go, drive the black king away, and that knight, you mentioned it, Tanya, it's trapped. No way out.
Ooh. And that's it. Alireza Firouzja resigns. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave with the white pieces takes the win. This